Oh, you made it? It's Deep Focus. You're here right on time. I'm your host, Mitch Goldman, and this is a great one. If you didn't hear parts 1 and 2, you might want to go back and check out William Hooker on the topic of Joseph Jarman. I would recommend starting with part 1, but it's your show, so enjoy it any way you like. And the date was July 10th, 2023. This is part 3.
And that's the main thing. And then after that is the festival. The festival that's going to be happening at in Hell's Kitchen, where Mitch and I are both from. Mm-hmm. It's going to be on 54th Street. It's going to be 3 days from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 10 o'clock at night. We're going to have improvisational music. We're going to have straight up jazz. We're going to have what can I say? Noise. We're going to have electronic music. We're going to have choruses. We're going to have dancers. And because right now I'm talking to people that are going to be from the Alvin Ailey Dance School.
Which is right down the block.
Yes. Yeah,
how about that?
Yeah, it's right down the block. And I'm going to have poets. And in the middle of all this, we're going to have 2 or 3 people painting and doing actual real painting while it's happening. There's a place right next door to it, which is a Jamaican restaurant. It's brand new, spotless, really kicking butt.
Great food.
Yes.
It's so funny. Like you started telling me about, William just told me about this off mic, and I was like, are you talking about the new Jamaican place that just opened? And it's funny because it's kind of a side street.
Cafe 54.
Yeah, it's 54th between 9th and 10th, which is not a high traffic block. I just happened to be walking past it, and it just opened. And I sat down and had a meal. I was like, oh, this is a nice welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They're like it's very, very good. Jamaican food, really good.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of good food in the neighborhood. And that's
true.
And then the people there were so lovely, and they gave us a little tour of this space so I just happened to have seen it, and it's remarkable. I can't think of anything else. It kind of feels almost more like something you'd see in Europe, where I mean, there just isn't a lot of that around here. It's like a kind of handmade performing arts space or whatever it might be.
I forgot to tell you also, Mitch. In this space, one of the afternoons we're going to be having, they have a full operational theater where I will be showing my film, which is Outside the Mainstream. Mm-hmm. And also we're going to have some very short films that are also going to be shown. And so we're going to have dance, film, poetry, all kinds of music. We have a restaurant next door, and it's going to be for 3 days, from 3 o'clock till 10 o'clock. And there's tables out on the sidewalk. This is an incredible thing. And I was just walking down the street, and then it just came across it.
But William, you have presented festivals and all kinds of things in the past too. You're a starter. You're a catalyst for these things. So, and you see an opportunity and you know how to take it forward.
Who would have known? I'm going to Planet Fitness, and all of a sudden I walk past this place.
Yeah.
I'm going past. Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I was talking about this Henry Threadgill autobiography.
Yes,
Easily
yes,
Slip
yes.
into Another World, and this is one of the many things he talks about in relation specifically to Joseph Jarman in the 60s, these happenings and events. And they're in Chicago, and they're hearing about these things coming out of New York.
Yeah.
And this is exactly the kind of thing that they were doing, these multimedia, multi-dimensional and creative explosions like this. This is very exciting.
Who would have ever known? I mean, really, Mitch, right? We're going over to the Flame to have some hamburgers, and all of a sudden you come across this place. You come across this
Flame
place
is good too.
that's more inviting than Lincoln Center.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah, no, I had that same. It's so funny.
And you can afford it.
Yeah, I had the same experience, almost the same experience you had with this place, walking by going, well, and I was walking by going, what used to be here? I couldn't remember what was here. When did it close? What was it? And we walked in, yeah, and just one of the most welcoming places I've encountered in Manhattan in I don't know how long.
The festival's going to be happening, people, in September, so I don't even know what to tell you. It's like, I don't know.
Okay, well, here's what we could tell them.
Yes.
How do they find out? How do people follow you?
Information will be on WilliamHooker.com.
WilliamHooker.com.
Yeah.
As
well as information about the brand new recording that's going to be coming out, as well as all the places that I'm going to be playing with this group, as well as for the people in California, the whole Bay, like Oakland, Berkeley, San Francisco. I'll be there in August. And I'm just looking forward to these things. Sunday, I'm going to be playing at St. Peter's Church.
Wow.
With Hill Green and Hans Tommen at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6.
Sunday, this coming Sunday.
Yes, it's free. It's the Jazz Vespers.
Oh,
that's right. And July 16th. And that morning, we'll be having at Funkadelic Studios, which is on 40th West 40th Street in Manhattan. We have our monthly Let Music Be a Brunch. And I'm going to have 8 musicians there, and many of these people are people that have been coming for the last 3 years, I think, and so that's free, and you can just look. I mean, I'll try and put it on Facebook. But it's also on my site, so you can go there, and those people are going to be there as well. So a lot is happening.
I'm so glad I asked.
Yeah.
And William.
If I see you at the beach, come by the beach.
Okay.
I'll be over there.
All right. Your events are always, there's a very all-encompassing kind of nature about it. You're always very welcoming, the way you engage the audience, and there's a real sense of a genuine curiosity and generosity about the way that you communicate your ideas. And the performance is always at a high level, and then there's always something more around it. And it's very welcoming.
This festival, I'm telling you, some of the people we have already signed on, this is crazy, Mitch. This is crazy.
We say the dates?
That's going to be September 8th, 9th, and 10th. This is crazy. I mean, really, people are going to be coming from I don't know what. And then on top of it, we got like Alvin Ailey, which is right down the street. This is serious.
I can't wait.
This is crazy. And I was just walking down the street, going to Planet Fitness, right?
Yep.
Boom. Yeah. Our neighborhood. Hell's Kitchen. Yeah.
$10 a month.
Yeah. Our neighborhood. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy.
I can't wait.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, you let me know. I'll tell the folks.
Okay. So we're getting back to.
But they got it. You got it. You should also check out William's site. And you're on the socials. You're on. People find you on Facebook and.
I don't know how that works.
Well, if they look, though.
I don't know how it works.
Look for William.
I don't know how it works.
You'll see. You're on.
It's almost
Instagram.
Like it lasts for like 5 seconds and then it's gone. And then all of a sudden you're talking about I don't know what, Billy Eckstein. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But nonetheless,
you announce your stuff.
Well, I'm going to be pounding this one. I got a whole crew. We're all going to be walking down the street. Oh, and we're going to start off, Mitch. Mitch, wait.
There's more?
We're going to start off with a parade.
Oh, no, come on.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes, Mitch.
Wow.
I'm trying to tell you. Mitch, we're going to start off with a parade on the 8th. It's going to come from West 59th Street down 10th Avenue, and it's going to turn into 54th Street, and then we're all going to go into the space, and that's when the festival starts.
Wow. Cool. I love it.
I'm telling you, Mitch, some things are jumping off.
I love it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Joseph Jarman would
Yes.
love it. Not to change the subject.
I think he would have liked it. I think he would have liked it.
Well, you asked specifically about something with some poetry and words, I think was what you said, and called to mind this other recording that we have here in the archives. This is a really interesting document. This was this new jazz meeting in Baden-Baden, West Germany, 1969.
Do they have parades in Baden-Baden?
Oh yeah.
All right, I just asking.
Yeah, no, they got all kinds of stuff working there.
Yes,
absolutely.
Go ahead,
I mean, not like Hell's Kitchen, but you know.
All right, I got
you. They do pretty good. But no,
we coming by your house. We're gonna come by your house.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm gonna be banging a cowbell in the front of your house.
I love it.
And you're gonna say, arrest that fool. No, I'm coming.
Good.
All right then.
I'm
all
in.
right, done.
I'm in.
All right, let's go.
All right. So yeah, they got this this very interesting moment. I don't know how. Well, it's Joachim Ernst Berendt was this producer for the SWR radio station there, and he was a composer in his own right, and brought all these musicians together. They're some of the bright lights of European improvised music, British, American, and a couple of dozen artists, including Joseph Jarman, as well as Lester Bowie and Roscoe Mitchell. So, and Steve McCall. Steve McCall was in that house with those guys in Paris.
That's right.
So this is in 1969. And these guys are all
okay.
And they came over for
before
this.
air.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Dave Burrell is there as well.
Interesting.
And so, we have a couple of pieces.
They're all in the same house?
I think they were all in
That's
one
a crazy
big
place.
house together, just like playing all the time. They'd go and do gigs and come back, and they were just...
Where's Baden-Baden?
Baden-Baden, I'm not exactly sure. I want to say...
Let's say related to Berlin. Where's Baden-Baden?
Far away. I think
Far away.
I want to say...
Cologne?
Like south of Cologne.
Okay.
Southwestern Germany, I believe. But my German geography is a little rusty. So.
Oh, really? Oh, excuse me. All right. I got you. Go on.
But I got a 1 in 4 shot saying Southwest.
Yes, you did.
Good land.
Go on.
So there's 4 CDs of different combinations of ensembles, different composers, but there are 2 pieces by Jarman, and they're very different, and they're very interesting. One is so this whole group together forms an orchestra. And Jarman wrote this piece for the entire orchestra, and we have that. But we also have this quartet piece, and this is what I was thinking of when you said this.
Yes.
It's Joseph Jarman, Roscoe Mitchell, Dave Burrell on piano, and a vocalist, Norwegian vocalist, Karin Krogh.
Okay.
Who went on to have, I think, a very successful career as a jazz singer, and I think she's still around in Norway, but she's contributing her thing to this quartet piece. And Jarman, it's all. This is very Joseph Jarman.
Let's hear it.
Exactly the thing I think
ready.
you wanted to hear. Yeah,
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Good. We're going to cue it up here. I got it. Hold on. Okay, so we're going to Baden-Baden, 1969. The show is Deep Focus. William Hooker is here, and we're taking a deep, long look at the music of Joseph Jarman, and this is a moment in
What
December.
year is this again?
This is December of 69.
Okay.
We are in West Germany. It's still the wall is up.
Great.
Right?
Great.
WKCR.
All right.
Black art, the movement that alleviates the struggle. Freedom sound, great black music we make, and here, the political cause, action, what we are doing, and why. The liberation of America, the planet Earth, the universe. Is the cry, and we will answer as we go. A poet tells us the black arts movement is radically opposed to any concept of the artist that alienates him from his community. Black art is the aesthetic and spiritual sister of the black power concept. As such, it envisions an art that speaks directly to the needs and aspirations of black America. Yeah, you really blew my mind then, talking about our blood like it's some water, some trickling down off some mountain or something.
We can see where we are.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I don't know how to talk like that. I tell you, Willie, them niggas don't know what they're doing, talking about guns.
Round we go, while standing
I catch one of them, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut head off,
in
slit
the blood of
throat.
million times.
Is what they say, and it is a liberation movement. The poet tells us of it. Slave Ship, Leroy Jones, presents a more intimate confrontation with history. In a series of expressionistic tableaux, it depicts the horrors and the madness of the Middle Passage. It then moves through the period of slavery, early attempts at revolt, tendencies toward Uncle Tom-like reconciliations, and betrayal. The final act of liberation. There is no plot. Leroy calls it a pageant. Just a continuous rush of sounds, groans, screams, and souls wailing for freedom and relief from suffering. This work has specific affinities with the new music of Sun Ra. Coltrane. Albert Eiler. Events are blurred, rising and falling in a stream of sound. Almost completely, the images flicker and fade against a heavy backdrop of rhythm. The language is sparse, stripped to the essential. It is a play which almost totally eliminates the need for a text. Its function on this basis exactly as that of the new great black music. Ulrich Cleaver tells us that the power belongs to the people. I know it's part of a big move across the country to convince black people that this way they can finally get into the economic system. But we don't feel that it's going to work because it won't go far enough and deep enough to give the masses of black people real community control of all their institutions. Remember, Everything is out in the open this year. Nobody is trying hard to conceal anything. As usual, the key issue in the election is what to do about the niggers. Only this time the question is being rewritten to read what to do with the niggers. A surprising development? No. Dr. Martin Luther King was the last prince of non-violence. He was a symbol of non-violence, the epitome of non-violence. Non-violence is a dead philosophy, and it was not the black people that killed it dead. The spirit music will awaken the galaxy inside of us. The vision will be internalized. We will find the true cause of all human liberation, a vibration that reaches beyond the frontiers of the space-age technology, and the power, the energy will rise up to bring freedom, to create joy and peace and love and perfection throughout all the universe, he said. Om. It surprised me to notice, after the theater moved from Jackson to New Orleans in 1964, how much we were dependent on movement activities. The theater depends on its relationship to the activities of relevant and perspective. The awareness of that activity is extremely important for the orientation of new people who had not previously been engaged.
Like the warmth of a beating heart.
Let's say that I understand.
And the
That's how I imagine being dead would be, when it happens to everybody, and that it's silly to be afraid. Well, you mustn't ever stop writing. No, I won't. My father and mother won't let me. He smiles. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, Jonas. Light, 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 light. See that little Bobby had a rifle until it started to bark, producing a miraculous effect on the cops. Cowardly pigs, from their flat feet to their thick heads, all ran for cover. The few seconds that this gave us allowed us to find a door into the basement of the house to our right, and we dove inside. We were just in time to escape a murderous palisade of shots that scourged the tiny area we had just abandoned. Pigs started shooting again, and we had to hit the deck. The material we had stacked along the walls was blown away by what sounded like machine gun fire.
And the depth of the deep.
And now little Bobby is dead. My religion, brotherhood. My race, the human race, my religion, brotherhood, my race, the human race, my religion, brotherhood, my race, the human race, my religion, brotherhood. The old religion is generalized. It seeks to recognize universal humanity. The new spirituality is specific. It begins by seeing the world from the concise point of view of the colonized, where the old spirituality would live with oppression while ascribing to the oppressors an intimate goodness. The new spirituality demands a radical shift in point of view. The colonized native, the oppressed, must, of necessity, to subscribe to a separate morality, one that will liberate him and his people. Fuel for the fire that will rage across the face of this racist country and either purge it of its evil or turn it into ashes. I say this for little Bobby, for Eldridge Cleaver, who died that night, for every black man, woman, and child who ever died here in Babylon. And I say it to racist America that if every voice of dissent is silenced by your guns, by your courts, by your gas chambers, by your money, you will know that as long as the ghost of Eldridge Cleaver is afoot, you will have an enemy in your midst.
Music from Joseph Jarman in Baden-Baden in 1969. If there was any language in that piece that was difficult for any listeners, it was not a reflection of any editorial policy of this station or of this program. It's part of the artistic expression of Joseph Jarman. And that was a quartet. Well,
what are you referring to?
I'm not referring to anything other than, everybody's got to take things in their own terms.
Absolutely.
But, right? So that was, the quartet that came together at this event in Baden-Baden out of this large ensemble of musicians, Joseph Jarman with Roscoe Mitchell both playing reeds, flutes, etc. Mm-hmm. We also had Dave Burrell on piano, and very interesting, the vocalist Karine Krog also providing the electronics. Mm-hmm. And, the whole thing, I want to hear what you have to say. You were listening very intently. That was the first piece we played tonight that you and I didn't chatter through.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot going on in your mind right now.
What was going on in my mind was this was not the Joseph Jarman that I know of. I really anticipated some of his original poetry in prose that he had written and documented on As If It Were the Seasons, for example, which did not refer to any individuals or political ideas or movements or some things that have happened in America necessarily. It was those recordings that I was introduced to Joseph Jarman were very, very abstract. They did not refer to at all any of the flesh and blood things that happen in everyday life. I mean, his ideas and his poetry were really abstractions for me. And to me, it went with the music even more, I gotta say, for me. But this was in 1969.
Yeah, December.
In 1969, I wasn't even out of college. So I got to say to myself, well, okay, when was I attracted to these people? So I'm thinking 73, 74, 75, when in fact all those Delmark recordings came out. Mm-hmm. And as you know, I mean, the Delmark recordings, like Sound, Braxton solo record, Levels and Degrees of Light, Young at Heart, Wise in Time, and then there was Joseph Jarman's recording, As If It Were the Season, and Song 4. Those really stood out in my mind because those were the breeding ground for my brain. And because a lot of things around that period, I myself, I wasn't in tune with, because I came up in a very, very, I came up in a time when along with this music, Hendrix had exploded. And when you went to a Jimi Hendrix concert, many of the things that were just said to us just now about the Panthers and Elrich Cleaver, et cetera, you went to a Jimi Hendrix concert and this was the last thought in your mind, if you could even think, tell you the truth.
So this, for context, so this is the same month as Band of Gypsies.
This was?
That recording that we just heard, yeah.
Band of Gypsies. How can that be? No, really?
Yeah.
Okay, then, well, I was more the Band of Gypsies person. I was more the person who was running wild in San Francisco with Sly and Santana maybe, and
well, you know
those
what they
people.
Say.
What?
Different strokes for different folks.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I gotta say another thing. In my life, I didn't hardly go to Oakland. I used to just stay in San Francisco. So a lot of things I just wasn't even. So I was really I was into that, and there was a whole other with across the bay, this was more happening across the bay, but I never went there. So I didn't really know because I was like from the East Coast and I was just there just to deal with like Mexico and deal with like the Bay, you know.
So, well, what do you think?
Yes.
What do you think of the ideas here? What do you think of the musical presentation? What do you think of the theatricality that Jarman delivers it with, or whatever, any other way you want to respond?
Okay. I love and respect Joseph Jarman, but I think that this particular context is very, very insular, and I think it would have held me back. I was more the abstract person. Mm-hmm. I was more the person that was really trying to find himself in this music. A lot of things that happened I saw, and I was around. I mean, because I lived in Oakland. But I wasn't really necessarily like, I was trying to create my own movement separate from what was going on in the Bay, you know. So because of that, and I don't say that to diminish anything. I'm just saying what I was doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree that.
That's what I was doing.
Certainly, and I'm a little younger than you, and when I started to hear Joseph Jarman's music, it was, what he presented was much more abstract, as you say.
Yeah, it was more abstract for me, and that's kind of maybe what I was more in tune with the abstractions than I was in tune with. Even though I did have to read, as everyone has to. Well, I did have to read for myself. Just what was happening in terms of black consciousness and black power and what was going on, because it was obviously going on. But that wasn't where my music was coming from. And to tell you the truth, that really wasn't where my audience was. Mm-hmm. Because my audience was like, I don't know. I mean, my audience was like all over the place. It was really... It never felt like it was just in one group. It felt like it was just this whole thing of all kinds of people from all kinds of places, and it could not have been put into this little box. Because the people themselves would not let it be put in the box. Like when you were in like San Francisco, in the park, mm-hmm. You know, you were hearing some great music in many cases. I was hearing excellent music, like at the Keystone Corner. I mean, really, like it was like, you know, this was happening, but also, you know, McCoy Tyner was coming through with enlightenment. And like Bobby Hutcherson was coming, I would meet him in the grocery store at 12 o'clock at night. I mean, you know, that was my world. Yeah. And so, and in this other world that was happening, it was happening, but I was trying to learn how to play, how to really, really learn how to play. I wanted some people that had some chops. Yeah. And that maybe that's my own, I don't know.
We all have our, focuses in our blind spots, and you take in more than you would give yourself credit for.
No, I'm just saying, that's what I was really thinking about.
I get you. William, I'm going to tell you something that may shock you.
What's that?
We're almost out of the whole 3 hours. We got 8 minutes left.
Really?
I'm saying. So,
well, I want to tell people one thing.
Please,
look,
go ahead.
Folks, I'm going to be at Funkadelic Studio, which is like 240 West 40th Street, this Sunday between 11 and 1.
July 16th, 2023.
This is a symposium usually for musicians. It's about philosophy of music, playing, how many people, what we're playing, how we're playing it, what we're playing with, and we get a chance to actually talk to people about it, then that evening I'll be at Jazz Vespers with a trio, which is Hans Tommen on guitar and Hill Green on bass. Now that's at 5 to 6. So if I can meet you there, I'd be overjoyed. That's that. I gotta throw that in there.
Come see William. Come see William Hooker.
It's going to be a great thing. It's going to be a great thing. Yeah, it's going to be a great thing. Prior to the record coming out, but we already talked about that.
William, you are always great company, and I always can count on you for a fresh perspective. I love it.
That's why they call me Mr. Fun.
Yes. Yes.
I'll play it.
I do. What else? Any other? We got any other parting messages? I want to play for you. So there were 2 pieces that Jarman wrote for this gathering.
Yes.
And you heard one of them, which I think stands alone among his work. Doesn't sound like it was your very favorite, but I think you'll acknowledge that there's a creative drive behind it.
Yes.
This other piece is entirely different. He's writing for this large ensemble. And I don't know too many pieces like that.
Let's go out with it.
I think it's a great one to go out with. But is there anything else you want to share? Let the folks know anything ground we didn't cover?
Well,
anything about Jarman?
All I can say to all of you is the fact that black music and music in general encompasses all those people we know who their names are, and many, many people we don't know who their names are unless it's pressed by those people who control this industry. But there are Joseph Jarmans throughout the world. This particular individual, this particular man, touched me in my life. And he had a lot to say. And just be open to everything. Open to everything. Try.
And I'll add to that. Get yourself out the door and go be there where the music's playing, and you might find a new breeze blowing. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
I think you will. I really think you will, and it's exciting now. It's exciting now.
William, thank you.
Thank
you for being
man.
here.
Thank you for having me again.
Couldn't do it without you, man.
All right, Joseph Jarman.
All right, Joseph Jarman. We're going again to Baden-Baden, this new jazz meeting, 1969, brought together by Joachim Ernst Berendt. And I'm going to tell you all the personnel. I'm going to run it down real quick and then start this piece so you get to hear at least a few minutes of it.
That's too many people. That's too many people. You ain't got to say all of that.
Willem Breuker.
That's too many people.
Herr Dudek, Joseph Jarman, Roscoe Mitchell, Bernd Rosengren, Alan Skidmore, Heinz Sauer, John Sermon are the woodwinds. The brass is Lester Bowie, Kenny Wheeler, Albert Mangelsdorf, Asia Tellin, and Dave Burrell, and Leo Kuipers on piano. Yes. Leo Kuipers also playing prepared piano. Yeah. Tadja Ripdahl on guitar. Yeah. Polly Danielson, Arjan Garter, Bar Phillips on basses, Steve McCall, Claude Delclue, Tony Oxley, drums and percussion, and Karine Krog, vocals and electronics, possibly also Hugh Steinmetz on trumpet. This is Joseph Jarman's, let me first say,
we want the music.
The radio station is WKCR FM New York,
Thank you,
WKCR HD, WKCR.org, 89.9 FM. You can also catch this on the Deep Focus podcast.
That's right.
Love to see you over there. And my name is Mitch Goldman, and my guest has been William
Hooker. Yeah. Let's hear it.
Music from Joseph Jarman on WKCR.
Thank you, Joseph Jarman.